Right now, 5, widespread destruction in Italy. More than 150 people have been confirmed dead, and the search continues for survivors of this earthquake.
Also at this hour, Hillary Clinton in town grabbing some campaign cash in Silicon Valley. We'll tell you about her high-profile host and also how much people are paying to see her.
But first, a woman beaten seemingly for no reason. The search in San Francisco to find the person responsible. The news at 5 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Raj Mathai.
And I'm Peggy Bunker. That attack happened a few days ago in the Pacific Heights neighborhood in San Francisco.
NBC Bay Area's Robert Honda is there for us this afternoon with the new details. Robert.
Well, police say that it was fortunate that the incident was caught on video, but it is a very disturbing sight and one that stunned a lot of people who live here in this area near the intersection of Washington and Gulf Streets. Now, police say investigators just got the surveillance video of the attack from August 20th and are showing it publicly in hopes of catching the attacker. As you see, the man in the dark sweatshirt walks up and begins hitting the woman, pushing her and sending her to the ground on Washington Street. Now, police report he said something like, "Say you're sorry," just as he attacked. And you can see that he punched her relentlessly and then stood over her for quite a long time, though police say he didn't talk to her then and did not rob her. Police say the victim apparently did not know the attacker and could only try to protect herself.
She pretty much did what she could. It happened all of a sudden. He was larger than her and she was knocked to the ground, so she had her arms up, tried to defend herself, but there was nothing else in a sudden attack like that she could have done.
It's kind of shocking because in a nice area like this, I never thought of things like this would happen.
Now, police say the woman suffered a broken nose in the encounter. The man's face is not seen in the video, but police say they believe that he is a white male in his 40s or 50s and hope someone might recognize him either as a person who lives in the park or possibly nearby. Coming up at 6, more reaction from the neighborhood. Live in San Francisco, Robert Honda, NBC Bay Area News.
All right, Robert, thank you very much. Well, once homes and shops, now nothing. Just taking a look here at the devastation, the aftermath here of a 6.2 magnitude earthquake that rocked central Italy last night. 159 people are confirmed dead. Rescuers now are swarming into hardest hit areas looking for any kind of survivors that are trapped underneath this rubble. Now, this is video of one of those rescues. This team was able to dig out this man. He was buried under his own home. They were able to find him and carry him out and get him to the hospital. He, of course, is one of the lucky ones. Now, one of the hardest hit places is Amatrice. The mayor there says at least half of that town is gone. One local police official told NBC News that he estimates about 50 people have been killed in Amatrice alone. Those numbers will likely rise. Now, let's give you a better idea of exactly where this earthquake hit here as we take a look at a map of Italy. Now, this is the central area where it hit about 3 o'clock in the morning. So most people were home and sleeping. And you can see that Norcia, another city here that was dramatically hit. It extended all the way to Rome and then, of course, along the Adriatic coast. A couple of interesting things about this area. It's definitely been a highly seismic area. They've experienced many, many earthquakes. They're used to this sort of thing. There have already been about 200 aftershocks since the earthquake hit last night, once again in the middle of the night. Now, rescue teams, experts in this sort of recovery are pouring in from all over Italy and other countries, including the Vatican, which sent in volunteers to help out. Now, our coverage of the Italy earthquake does continue tonight on Nightly News. First-hand accounts of the moments that earthquake hit, and then this, the aftermath. Lester Holt joins us tonight at 5:30.
A busy night for presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. She's crisscrossing the peninsula as we speak, raising some big money. Mrs. Clinton is in Los Altos Hills at an event co-hosted by Apple CEO Tim Cook. Now, she started her day in Redwood City. Down below, you can see the Democratic candidate entering that event. This was at the Sofitel Hotel. Then Mrs. Clinton and her motorcade headed south to Los Altos Hills. This is a live look from our NBC chopper over that event. Now, this is at the home of another Apple executive, and as we mentioned, it's being co-hosted by Apple CEO Tim Cook. Our business and tech reporter Scott Budman joins us from the ground level there in Los Altos Hills. And Scott, this is a big-time Silicon Valley connection where you are.
Yeah, absolutely, Raj. Apple's CEO and vice president are hosting the candidate here tonight, part of a lucrative fundraising swing through Silicon Valley. Secretary Clinton started the afternoon in Redwood Shores.
I'm still shaking, even though I was like 100 feet away from her.
Meeting fans over a fundraising lunch. Tickets ranged from $2,700 to $27,000 per person, depending on access to the candidate.
I'm thrilled to be here and support her, and I'm bringing my daughter, who is just turning 18 and is going to be voting in her first presidential election.
Then on to Los Altos Hills and a second fundraiser, this one put on by Apple CEO Tim Cook and Vice President Lisa Jackson. No press access given here, but plenty of techies who say they're supporting Clinton.
I think the main reason that a lot of people in tech are supporting Secretary Clinton is that they feel she's a known commodity with a known long-standing voting record in office.
One Clinton supporter says the candidate told the crowd Silicon Valley is in the future business. And judging by some of the tech talent we've seen so far here tonight, business is good. You'll hear from more of those who showed up to meet the candidate later tonight at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in Los Altos Hills, Scott Budman, NBC Bay Area News.
Okay, Scott, thank you. So the usually very quiet, sleepy town of Los Altos Hills, you can hear all the helicopters buzzing above. Again, this is a residential area right near some schools there. Mrs. Clinton will be here for presumably the next 45 minutes to an hour, and then it's off to her next event. One more look here from our NBC chopper. We'll continue to follow her visit throughout the evening. Republican presidential hopeful Donald Trump spent the day in Tampa, where he urged Hispanic and black voters to give him a chance. But it's a long shot. According to the latest NBC News SurveyMonkey poll, Trump has the support of just 8% of African-American voters and 22% of Hispanic voters. Now, you can track all the twists and turns of this election right on our website. Our Decision 2016 icon right on our front page. You can view your local ballot. Just drop in your address to see the candidates running in your district. That's at NBCBayArea.com.
Well, San Jose police say that they have busted up a violent Vietnamese street gang. The investigation also brought down a San Jose police officer. NBC Bay Area's Damian Trujillo first broke this news late last night on Twitter, and it joins us now from police headquarters, where Damian, the FBI and police, they just wrapped up a news conference there.
That's right, Peggy. Just a few minutes ago, they laid out the evidence they had against this Vietnamese gang in San Jose and also the police officer. They say this was a widespread operation from Southern California, even all the way to Louisiana. A shipment of marijuana, they say, was headed to Louisiana from San Jose. Police laid out pictures of some of that evidence here at police headquarters. The sting was called Operation Gang of Thrones, and it targeted several Vietnamese cafes in San Jose. In March of last year, police held similar raids in what was then dubbed Operation Omni. There they also confiscated cash and 100 gaming machines from Vietnamese cafes around San Jose. This time police say the operation also took down one of their own. 9-year police veteran Derek Antonio is accused of releasing confidential police information to the gang. He was also arrested and faces several felonies. The chief says going after their own officer was painful, but says investigators were clear they were chasing every suspect.
As distasteful as it has been to have identified and criminally investigated one of our own, it is a testament to the integrity of the San Jose Police Department and all investigators involved in this investigation.
Police arrested 23 of the suspects. People they're looking for 6 more. They say they are still at large. The raids also netted guns, cash, and marijuana that was en route again from San Jose to Louisiana. 12 of those suspects were in court today, along with 2 women. We were there as well. We'll talk to one of their lawyers tonight at 6. We're live in San Jose. I'm Damian Trujillo, NBC Bay Area News.
Damian, thank you. The former mayor of Campbell has been arrested for domestic violence. Jeffrey Christina is currently a city councilman in Campbell. Police say his fiancée showed up at the Campbell Police Department just before 3 a.m. yesterday. She told officers she was in a domestic dispute, and Councilman Christina blocked her from calling 911. The councilman posted bail yesterday afternoon.
Well, why did it happen? New details tonight that are coming in as investigators try to figure out how a taxi cab slammed into a shoe shine stand in San Francisco. This crash happening yesterday where Market, Sansom, and Sutter Streets all come together. Now, this cab jumped the curb, critically injuring one shoe shine worker. Another worker is in fair condition tonight. Investigators say that impairment does not appear to be a factor in the crash, but they are looking into the cab driver's medical history for any possible mechanical issues, also with the car.
The pressure is mounting to unseat a local judge. A women's advocacy group is now joining the push against Judge Aaron Persky. Members of Ultraviolet, that's the name of the group, rallied in front of the state building in San Francisco today, where the state's Judicial Commission was meeting. Judge Persky gave what many claim was a lenient sentence to a former Stanford swimmer who sexually assaulted a fellow student. The group today read part of a letter from the victim to the commission.
As you know, it's the letter from Jane Doe that galvanized the nation to stand up against sexual assault and against normalizing and excusing that kind of behavior from a perpetrator like Brock Turner. So reading that out loud will help draw attention to the case.
Now, it can draw attention to this case, but to be clear, the commission does not have the ability to take any action against Judge Persky.
Well, you get injured on the job and you need medical attention. That's where workers say the problem begins. Injured workers say the DAC simply stacked against them when they try to get medical care. Our
investigative unit has been digging the state's workers' comp system. Liz Wagner joins us now to explain what happens after patients are denied medical treatment that they say they need. Liz.
Well, guys, injured workers can appeal those denials of medical care. Tonight, we investigate what happens when people ask for that second look at their cases. Now, we obtained data from the state. We found the vast majority of the time reviewers agree injured workers don't need the medical treatments their doctors request. Supporters of the system say this proves the process is working, but critics say it's one-sided.
I do think they have to be challenged if there are failures, and certainly, I think Lori has to be considered a failure of the system at this point.
And tonight at 11, you'll hear more from the mother of a nurse who suffered from chronic pain and depression after an on-the-job injury. She says she's speaking out now because her daughter no longer can. Guys.
And dozens of Chinese immigrants say their landlord is trying to force them out. I'm Alicia Kirshner live in Oakland tonight ahead why a judge visited the property here this afternoon.
And could it be true? A new ballpark for the A's. We'll show you where the A's might want to build.
And good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Jeff Bernieri. Plenty of blue sky across Lafayette right now, but it's a different story at the coast with quite a bit of fog. We'll have your morning forecast tomorrow and changes for the weekend in just a few minutes.
You're watching NBC Bay Area News with the Bay Area's biggest investigative unit holding the powerful accountable. NBC Bay Area, we investigate.
Living in filth tonight, disturbing claims from the tenants in the East Bay. They say their landlord is creating harsh living conditions and trying to run them out. NBC Bay Area's Alicia Kirshner is live in Oakland tonight where the building is located. And Alicia, today a judge actually went to see these conditions firsthand.
That's right, and the judge came here this afternoon. He spent about 20 minutes inside the property here behind me. Now, he has the power to get the bathrooms back to working order and will decide if newly installed surveillance cameras will be removed.
Excuse me?
Judge Brad Siegelman asked to see the surveillance cameras installed outside of the low-rent, single-resident occupancy hotel in Oakland's Chinatown.
Can you tell me where the exterior camera is? There's a camera out in front.
Then the Alameda County judge, along with attorneys representing more than a dozen Chinese immigrants, go inside.
33 households sharing 3 bathrooms and 1 kitchen. They're waiting in really long lines to be able to use basic household facilities.
Attorneys say the new owners tried to make living conditions so bad that residents would move out, so the building would be converted into studios, catering to students and tech workers. And according to court documents, for the past 6 months during renovations, cameras were installed in the kitchen and hallways, along with the microphone. 4 of the property's 7 bathrooms were also demolished, and hot water is only sometimes available.
Excuse me, Judge? Are you able to tell us a little bit about what you saw in there?
We have to talk to the attorney.
As the judge left, he wouldn't say what he saw inside, but attorneys say a decision on whether the owners will be forced to put the bathrooms and kitchen back in will be made soon.
Now we met with the court and we'll be reconvening on Tuesday.
Meanwhile, the landlord's attorney denies these allegations. All parties will be back in court on Tuesday. Reporting live from Oakland tonight, I'm Elise Kirshner, NBC Bay Area News.
Elise, thank you. A tragic turn. One of those German tourists rescued in Yosemite has died. Doctors say Maria Fissman, seen here, died from her injuries last night. She was in an SUV with two other tourists driving in from San Francisco to Yosemite yesterday when their car plunged about 50 feet off the road. Rescue workers had to scale the side of that roadway through thick brush to get them out of the car. The other two women are in stable condition.
Well, 3 life-size statues are with their rightful owner tonight after someone robbed the same East Bay home twice in 1 week. The burglaries happened last month in unincorporated Martinez. Now, police say that Charles Somers stole several items from the same home on Alhambra Valley Road, including an 8-foot bronze statue of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Now, investigators say the tips here helped them track down Somers and arrest him.
Okay, we've been talking about this for years, but now there might be some real progress when it comes to building a new stadium for the A's in Oakland. Tomorrow, A's co-owner John Fisher will tour Howard Terminal. This is a cargo loading area at the Port of Oakland. This is the waterfront site that Mayor Libby Schaaf and other city leaders have long been pushing for.
This is really encouraging for A's fans and Oaklanders because the A's are getting serious about building a new ballpark. They are definitely exploring options, but only options in Oakland.
This could be a game changer. Yes, very encouraging for A's fans. You might recall the team had previously explored stadium sites in both downtown San Jose and Fremont. Building at the current stadium location at the Coliseum also remains a possibility.
And now to a story that we first broke on NBC Bay Area. A school earthquake safety bill unanimously passed through the Senate and is now on its way to the governor. Take a look here at the photos that we showed you on Class Action that prompted the seismic safety bill. This is the classroom after a 6.0 magnitude earthquake hit Napa in 2014. The damage caused filing cabinets and school supplies to come crashing down in the classroom. It even blocked several of the exits. Well, that Napa quake happened exactly 2 years ago today. It is the anniversary. It was the largest earthquake to hit the Bay Area in more than 25 years. 1 person was killed, and the quake also damaged more than 1,000 buildings. It added up to an estimated price tag of $300 million in damage. The historic county courthouse is one of the structures that is still awaiting repairs. The building's restoration work is expected to continue through the summer of 2018.
They are still rebuilding in Napa. I remember our chief meteorologist, Jeff Ranieri, was there, and one of the streets in the neighborhood you were in really just crumpled. You can see the ripples on those streets.
Yeah, it totally buckled. It was pretty phenomenal. A good reminder that there's an earthquake somewhere in the world every single day. That earth is always moving. And of course, duck, cover, and hold if you start to feel shaking. Let's go ahead and get you outside to our Sky Camera Network right now. If you're anywhere near the coastline, you know what we're dealing with. If you're not, check this out. A cool 56 right now in Point Reyes after a high of only 61 degrees and relative humidity right now at 100%. So the air is completely saturated. That does mean that drizzle is likely again for tonight and into tomorrow morning. We'll take you to a little bit of a warmer spot here. Well, actually quite a bit warmer in Concord with 85 degrees, humidity a lot lower at 31%. We'll eventually drop into the 70s by 8 p.m. and then 50s by midnight. So certainly some, relief here coming your way as we head into the overnight hours. As we get a look at the morning forecast for tomorrow, again, we do want to stress the fog and the drizzle will be coming back here to San Francisco. We'll start with 55. Also patchy fog for the North Bay. For the peninsula, areas of spotty drizzle and that fog. And for the South Bay, another day in a row where even if you get some sunshine, we'll have hazy skies and a temperature of 58 degrees. The forecast isn't going to change too much when it comes to temperatures on Thursday. You can see across San Francisco, it'll put us at a cool 61 in the marina. For the peninsula, 72 in San Mateo. Over to Palo Alto, 4 degrees warmer at 76. And for the South Bay, our warmest temperature, Morgan Hill at 85 and a comfortable 83 in San Jose. For the North Bay, East Bay, and also also for the Tri-Valley. Hottest weather here across Danville and also Livermore with 87 and 88 respectively. But you head up to the East Bay where that foggier wind's going to pass right through the bay, and that'll help to keep us at a lot more comfortable 71 degrees. And the North Bay, don't want to leave you out. Look at this, 72 in Mill Valley. Also pretty much perfect here in Santa Rosa at 78 degrees. So high pressure is just offshore right now. That's what's hoping to produce those upper 80s across the interior valleys. But we're going to change as we head into this upcoming weekend. Now, it's not going to get drastically colder, but I do think at least 3 to 6 degrees cooler as we head into Saturday afternoon, also into Sunday. We'll see a few little ripples in the atmosphere, these troughs of low pressure, and that will at least keep 100s out of the forecast. I know you're going to love what's coming our way on the extended. You can see in San Francisco the next 7 days we have 60s expected here throughout the beautiful city by the bay. And as we get you into the inland valleys, here's our change from 88 as an average tomorrow down to 83 by Sunday, and we'll stay with low 80s for Monday, Tuesday, and also on Wednesday. So also some great news for that fire danger as well.
And September is usually our best month of weather around here. We're getting it on.
Yes, I know. I was going to say we still have that ahead. So
looking forward to it. Good.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, getting BART into the South Bay. New information on just how close that project is to becoming a reality.
And a popular festival that all focuses on bacon. It's a snag. How one city's police shortage factors into the bacon problem. Well, South Bay commuters are closing in on some rapid transit relief. Today, VTA, BART, and U.S. transportation leaders met to get updated information on BART's expansion into San Jose. Transportation Secretary Anthony Fox got a first-hand look at the nearly completed first phase of BART's expansion, extending from Fremont to the Berryessa station in East San Jose. Now, that phase is expected to be up and running as soon as next year.
When you invest in transportation, you improve quality of life. This type of project is also going to be good for the environment because it's public transit, but it also creates jobs.
Now, Congressman Mike Hondo was also on hand for today's tour. Phase 2 will run underground through San Jose, but that extension is still in the planning stages.
Well, Hold the Bacon, the Bay Area's best-known bacon festival, has been rescheduled because of a police officer shortage. The organizers of the Bacon Festival of America made the announcement on their Facebook page today. The event was supposed to be at San Jose's Plaza de Cesar Chavez on Labor Day weekend, but organizers say there's not enough police officers available, so they're moving it to the weekend of October 15th instead.
Well, maybe it will come down after all. An appellate court has ordered a lower court to reconsider a ruling that protects an old railroad bridge from demolition. This is called the Willow Glen Trestle. It's a train bridge that's over the Los Gatos River. It was built 94 years ago. Now, the San Jose City Council voted to tear it down and replace it with a new steel bridge, but Preservation has filed a lawsuit arguing that the city violated state law because it didn't look into rehabilitating the existing bridge. Well, at that time, the judge agreed. No word on whether or not the preservationists will challenge this new ruling.
Okay, up next, just coming into our newsroom, a high-profile member of the U.S. Olympic team has been suspended. We'll tell you about it next.
NBC Bay Area responds, recovering more than $100,000 to Bay Area consumers. If you want help, call us or visit NBCBayArea.com. Responds.
Breaking news to bring you now. USA soccer goalie Hope Solo has just been suspended for 6 months following her behavior and specifically a comment made at the Rio Olympics. The U.S. soccer organization made this announcement within the past hour, saying that Solo did not live up to the standard of conduct required of national team players. Now, this is for her comments made after USA's loss to Sweden. She called the team cowards and said that the best team did not win that day.
Oh, tonight at 6, new and exclusive details on that local kidnapping case that grabbed national headlines, the new documents that we've obtained in the Denise Huskins ransom investigation, and what this could mean for the Vallejo Police Department, which originally called the whole thing a hoax. That story and more tonight on our 6 o'clock newscast.
Thank you so much for joining us. NBC Nightly News is coming up next.
We'll see you at 6.